Demonic Angel. Today I'm going to just share a personal story. I'm going to do a few shorter types of videos, and then I'm going to spend like a day or two just kind of focusing on online homework and catching up on reading the latest novel by Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child. And it's like a thriller mystery, and they do different series. This one's in the Agent Pendergast series. It's actually really cool because the main character uses things like meditation, trance, drugs to get into altered states of consciousness to be a detective and figure things out. So that it's a lot of fun. A lot of their novels are about technology and those kinds of things, and I think I'm just going to sit and read and have some junk food. I am having one of those weird kind of moments for myself where I start breaking out with a lot of acne, getting emotional, hormonal, and just like wanting to cry and like eat ice cream and all that kind of stuff. And also, the funny thing is that my hair changes colors on me sometimes. I haven't dyed my hair in years and years. The only thing I do get is a 1-inch trim maybe once a year. But I have my hair down to my butt. I really like having my hair long. And but sometimes it's got these touches of blonde in it. And I had blonde hair primarily till I was about 25, and then sometimes it gets to be a darker brunette color or even kind of red. So I have no idea what that is all about. Maybe it's a series of moods I go through or whatever, but the interesting part is that I'm not dyeing my hair. So anyway, now that you've heard my backstory, today I'm actually going to talk about the one guy in my hometown who was a Satanist. And I thought I'd share little experiences like this because I think they make for good short videos and that people might want to hear things like this. So anyway, I'm from, for the most part, I'm from this pretty small town. But at some point in high school, I met this guy, and he went to one of the other nearby small town schools. And basically the reason that I met him first was that he was involved with these different business clubs with the school and academic whatever crap things they would do, and they'd hold seminars and have like snacks for the students. And it wouldn't matter which school you go to, one school would kind of host it. And so I met him kind of that way, very casually. And when I first learned a little bit about him, all I knew was that I didn't really understand what he was doing in this town. He had this sports car. And he was like the only child in his family, and obviously his family's rich and whatever. No idea what he was doing there, but he kind of had this gothic kind of look to him, but he was still very handsome. I noticed that in this base kind of level way, but that really wasn't what interested him about me. I just thought it was funny that he knew that the way that he dressed and talked and was such a cocky asshole. He knew that all these girls would like it, even the religious girls, but they wouldn't be publicly or whatever involved with him and things like that. And that still wasn't super interesting to me. It was just things that I kind of figured out, whatever. But as time went on, I met him a couple more times when I I would actually go with my friends out up the mountains, because sometimes we would go get into snow like that. And even though I was, the Mormons kind of didn't accept me, by the time I was in high school, there was a few of them that would, from the other school actually, like they were a little bit, sometimes a little bit more relaxed, and they still like to go do stuff, and I mean, a lot of times it was goofy, sober shit for Mormons to do, like, go putz around in one of those Sonic drive-thrus all night or whatever. And I think I did see the Satanist guy a couple times, and then going up to the mountain. And so that's when I found out he was a Satanist, because I went in my friend's truck, like a group of six vehicles loading us kids up, for like a day in the mountains, to go hang out in the snow. And like we get there, and this guy is there with a group of people. He's got his like sports car, and basically he was talking to some girl that looked very much like she was a Mormon, and I didn't really remember what it was all about. And then he said, "Oh, I just don't want to be with you anymore if you can't publicly come out and hail Satan with me, and you're not very fun, you don't like to go to the cemetery." And he was just like, and I thought that was fucking weird. Like, I was like, what? At the time I was not very attached to really any kind of idea specifically, but I thought this guy was really funny. And so eventually I found him on one of these old social media platforms. And he was essentially really funny. He would talk about bodily functions and 80s horror movies, dark philosophical concepts, like that kind of a thing. And I thought that was really, really intriguing. And then at some point, he actually showed up to a school dance kind of a situation. And then after he got there, he got like arrested because he had sprayed some kind of pentagram graffiti on the side of the building that was being rented out for this situation. And that was my limited experience. I think the last time I ever saw him, though, like, which was really funny, like I said, every time that I would run into him, like up in the mountains or whatever, or he would just be in school, he would just be loud and talking. He was very narcissistic, and when I ran into him the last time, the Mormons go off to go do whatever, and I went up to him and I said, "Hey, do you have light?" I must have probably dropped mine out of my pockets, and so I stood by him smoking just cigarettes, and he just looked at me for a long time, didn't say too much, and then he rolled a joint and he was like, you want to smoke? And yeah, I did. So even though he didn't ask me anything, he just was silent, and it was really, really weird, because usually when you stand and you smoke with somebody, or especially you smoke pot, people like usually strike up a conversation. But he said to me, "There's nothing wrong with the way you are." And I think, but I kind of took it like he meant there's nothing wrong with smoking pot. But I really will never have any idea of what the heck that was really supposed to mean. And then I probably didn't see him again. I was like a year older than him, you know, in high school. And I think I just quit seeing him around because, you know, I graduated from high school, and yeah, he was just this one random rich guy. His family was rich, and I don't, for whatever reason, he thought that he should go public about this. I mean, God, at the very beginning of the internet and whatever, or at least when people had this, most people had access to it. So I just thought it was really funny because, you know, it was, you know, very frowned upon. He actually got off like he hired a lawyer after he got arrested for spraying a pentagram, and all the charges were dropped. He probably moved away from that small town, and he's probably either like, you know, dead because he's like, maybe for him, you know, that really drove him to some dark places that he, you know, maybe wasn't mature enough to quite understand, or, you know, and maybe he's chilled out a little bit with age, and, I mean, God, he, you know, could have converted to mainstream religion. Some people do that as a reaction to, you know, really rebellious youth, or perhaps, perhaps he has a very normal life, except for, you know, sometimes he has his little dark, personal, deep, philosophical, you know, thoughts that might be, it's hard to say when, you know, if people will change or not. I mean, I find that so much remains the same about people in general, even when they make major lifestyle changes. There's kind of this core personality that's usually there. But that was the only kid that I ever knew, and at the time I didn't really think too much about it. I was just like, yeah, as long as people believe in God or something, whatever. And then I kind of thought the whole like Satanist thing that he was trying to do was kind of funny, because he was like a douchebag, but like it was funny to me, the way that he scared these you know, religious people. I just really got a kick out of it more than anything else. But, you know, I wasn't identifying myself in that way at that time. But anyway, that's my story. I'll talk to y'all later.